Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sales on Demand show. We're doing a little bit of a different show today. I'm actually outdoors. I'm going for a walk around my neighborhood. I usually do this for inspiration, but I thought today I'd do my podcast outside. I don't know, it just feels like a day to be outside. It's snowing. Finally snowing. And you know what? It's about time. We don't normally have this amazing weather for such a long time. But normally it snows in September. You know, it can snow as early as August in Canada. But it waited all the way till October. Almost the end of October, too. So it is long awaited. Some people really don't like snow, but whatever. If you live in Canada, then get used to it. Anyway, it's been a very busy month for me. October is literally just flat out every single time. So there's all kinds of crazy deadlines, FBA deadlines, just everything just hits in October. And then November, pretty busy. December usually is pretty chill. At least for me. Some people are probably sending out loads of orders in December, but basically all of the stock that I need to send is already on its way to Amazon. So I thought I would share with you guys my plan for this Christmas season, how I'm going to make $100,000 in sales. So I'm sharing this because, you know, if I don't put it out there, then it's not real, right? If you want to achieve something great, you've got to speak it into existence first. You got to say, this is my goal. And then you start working on it. You know, I've actually been working on it for a while, but, you know, I still want to speak it into existence. And that's what I'm doing. It's been a pretty awesome month. It's been pretty busy, like I said. Ran my marathon at the beginning of the month and then pretty much haven't done any real major running since then, just the usual like short runs that I like to do. The marathon was rough. I just made it through, finished it in 3 hours and, you know, flopped down on the grass and I was like, I did it. And the next day I felt like, you know, somebody had run over my legs with a, you know, tractor. So I was like, oh, okay. I definitely pushed hard on that one. Don't normally feel soreness on my legs because you just get used to it, but you can always tell when you push yourself harder than you normally would. But everything else is going pretty good. Been doing some camping. And I realized that I never got enough camping in during the summer. And so I decided that I'm going to start camping in the winter. Now, you might be thinking that sounds kind of miserable. And it would be, except for they have little tiny wood stoves that you can put inside a tent. So I begged my wife to allow me to buy like a tent and a wood stove. And she said yes. So I have a tent that you can put a wood stove inside and a wood stove to put inside of it. And we've already tested it. I took my son into the backyard and we spent a couple of nights out there and wow, it was cozy. I love it. So now I've got a new hobby, pretty much the only winter hobby that I actually care about. I don't ski. I mean, I can ski, but it's really expensive to ski. So it's not a winter activity that I would consider to be viable. And so winters, usually for me, it's been just kind of this miserable long waiting for spring to come around. But now I actually have something to kind of look forward to. So I've been looking at my calendar, just like praying for two things. Number one, praying for some cold weather. Number two, praying for some time so I can actually get out here and do some camping. I don't know if that's going to happen this month because this is a busy month. Next weekend, I'm off to Las Vegas for a conference, a yearly conference. This is the second year in a row we've done this. Going to Las Vegas for the students of Rachel Raffay's low-hanging system Launch 100, of which, of course, I am the head coach of that program, and celebrating 2 years that I've been working from home. I have been a self-employed entrepreneur, like completely self-employed, for 2 full years. And I can scarcely believe it. Like, it's just, time has flown by. So it's great. The one thing, though, that really irritates me, I keep having dreams where I'm back at my old job. And I'm like, no, this isn't supposed to happen like this. What's going on? And I'm literally thinking to myself, how did I get back here? And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, it was just a dream. But that's a persistent dream that I've had. And I'm not sure what to make of that dream, because it's not like I hated work. I didn't mind getting up, going to work. Some of the jobs that I worked were stressful, the shift work especially. I'm not a fan of getting up at 3:30 in the morning, no matter what I'm doing. So getting up at 3:30 to go to work is awful, especially when you have to drive almost 2 hours to get there. But that's all behind me. I haven't done that for almost 6 years now. So why am I still dreaming about it? I don't know. The mind is a funny thing, I guess. Anyway, diving into my main topic, how I'm planning to make $100,000 in sales this year. So there's a lot of talk about recession. There's a lot of talk about, economic downturns and stuff like that. But this year, I don't think I've been in a better position to make a crap load of sales. I know I've griped a lot about inflation, and yes, inflation is still an ongoing problem. And I think the last episode I was complaining about not being able to find black mugs. Well, it turns out that I did find black mugs. They were a little more expensive than I would like, but they still weren't too bad. And I just bought them from Custom Happy. They were $7.50 or something like that. I was pleasantly surprised at the price. So I ordered probably got to be close to 15 boxes of black mugs, and they're on their way to Amazon right now, already selling. So sometimes you just have to keep digging to find a solution to a problem. But it's still going to be an ongoing problem. However, there is a type of product that is, I'm not going to call it inflation proof, but it's inflation resistant. And this is a product that I'm really excited about. And this is the first year that I'm really selling it in any major quantities. And it's basically jewelry. Now, it's not what you're thinking. It's not, necklaces just in a bag or something like that. It is a print-on-demand product, and it's not exclusive to Gear Bubble, but these styles that Gear Bubble has are exclusive to Gear Bubble, and they sell really well. So there's a whole bunch of different styles of jewelry. There's sunflowers, and they're all sterling silver, gold-plated, cubic zirconia, which is kind of a semi-precious stone. It's not glass. It's a precious stone-ish, kind of. It looks nice. It looks very elegant. And of course, sterling silver is basically almost pure silver. It's 0.925 silver, which is 92.5% silver. And then gold plating is also pretty good. But that's just the necklace. What's really important about these print-on-demand jewelry is that each one comes with a little card with a message printed on it. And the message is what's being sold. So the jewelry itself is kind of the gift, but oh good, a guy didn't stop at a stop sign. That's awesome. Hey buddy, thank you. Gotta love when you're walking around your neighborhood, eh? Anyway, so live in such a redneck town here. So yeah, the jewelry. The jewelry is by itself a very, high value item, but the whole package is what really ties it together. So it comes in a really nice looking box. It has a lid that closes with a magnet. I got a couple of samples, and I was just very pleased with them. Then it has the printed message card, and it's a great gift for women. It's mainly targeted to women at the moment, but there is styles for men as well. There's a couple of crosses that Gearbubble's coming out with, and some bracelets, and it's going to be more of a men's product. So last year, I started selling these, and I didn't think they sold that well. They're kind of finicky to create. They take a while to design, because unlike a mug, you kind of have to make like a nice looking design for these. Whereas a mug, you can just literally just slap some text on it, and as long as it's funny, people will buy it. Now, jewelry it doesn't have to be, but it works better if it's sentimental. So the sentimental stuff, which doesn't sell well on mugs, seems to sell really well with jewelry. And you gotta have a long poem, and it's gotta say "to my wife." You'll see them all over Etsy and Amazon as well. And last year I made a few sales, probably made like 25, maybe 30 sales of jewelry, and I thought, okay, that's cool, but it's not life-changing. 25 sales of any product is just a couple $100. For these products, I was charging between $49 and $59, so maybe it's $1,000 worth of sales, but I mean, again, not life-changing, right? Well, this year, we discovered literally just the most insane way of selling these products that I've ever seen, and that is Amazon FBA. So, of course, you must know, if you've listened to this podcast for more than a year, I'm all about Amazon FBA. I call it my cheat code for Amazon. It's not my cheat code, but it is a cheat code, and I love it. I love it because it's easy. I don't have to really think about it too much. I don't have to answer questions from customers, which I don't mind answering questions, but if I don't have to answer questions, then I'm even happier. So basically, you find a product that sells, so you got to test it, and you ship it to Amazon, and Amazon handles the rest of it. And you just sit there and wait for them to send you the check when all of your products sell out. And every year, I basically sell out of my products. And I fully expect this year to be the same thing. So last year, of course, there was no FBA for these precious jewelry products. So that just limits your sales, right? The shipping time for something like this is usually 2 weeks. But people are so accustomed to 2-day shipping that they just, they prefer that, especially on Amazon. I mean, on Etsy, obviously, it's kind of hard to do 2-day shipping. But Amazon, like if you have that Prime label, if you send your products for Amazon Prime, you will make the sales. That's the principle of how it works on Amazon. So without having FBA for these products, it was very hard to scale them up. But recently, Gearbubble was, partnering with a company called Aphrodite's, and this has all been happening over the last 6 months. And Aphrodite's is using FBA to sell on Amazon. And over Mother's Day, they made $100,000 in sales per day for 3 days straight. And that was the peak of their sales, So leading up to the Mother's Day, they'd get like a week before, it'd be like 30,000 a day, and then 40,000 a day. And then the 3 days, prior to Mother's Day, $100,000 in sales per day. And that is with about, let's say, 3 or 4 different products. So, that's insane. You can't do that with mugs. It's not possible. Or at least it's very unlikely. And what's more is that you raise your prices too. So you've got an item that normally is priced at $39.95. And that gives you a healthy $16, $17 profit, because you've got to pay $16 for it, ship it to Amazon, and you got to pay about $12 for the fees. Gives you about $12 profit. So a healthy profit margin already there. Then the closer you get to the holiday, the further you get and the more momentum you get, you start raising your prices. And there's really no upper limit to the price raises. I've heard this company is selling, like, some of the items they said they sold for $99. And I was like, what? $99? That's insane. I've sold some mugs for $30, $34. I thought that was pretty cool, but not $99. So I don't know that you're going to sell very many at $99, but you certainly could sell a bunch at $49.99, $59.99, even $69. Like, there's a lot of playroom with these products. They have a high perceived value. They're very nice looking. They look like expensive products. And of course, people love expensive products, right? So I've got a bunch of listings now. I've been working hard on these jewelry products, and I've got one that's doing well. It's got good momentum. It's selling probably 1 or 2 a day. And going into the Christmas season here, I'm expecting to sell 500 of those. And that's basically tapped me out. So I have sent as much stock as I physically possibly can based on how much cash I have. And I have, a decent amount of cash. But when you're scaling up something like this, you do need cash, right? When you're just getting into selling print on demand, you really don't need that much cash. Like, you could make do on Etsy with $100. If you had $100, you could fill your orders. Etsy pays you like a day or 2 later, and you're good. You got a cycling, thing of cash going. But when you're talking about Amazon, you want to make $100,000 in sales, you're gonna probably need about $30,000 in capital to make that happen. But at the end of the Amazon season, you're going to end up with double your money. So you're going to turn 30,000 into 60, maybe 65, maybe even 70. So it's tremendously profitable. You're basically doubling your money in a short period of time. And then now you've got $60,000. So I've basically just been saving my pennies. I haven't been purchasing too many investments apart from the tent that it was a couple $100, not too bad. The stove was another couple $100. So, but I've been pouring everything else into stock for this Amazon season. I've probably got at least 2,200 units on the way to Amazon, 2,300. I'm probably going to try to send at least another 100, the jewelry, just because it's such a great product. And I expect to basically double my money. So that's my plan for this Christmas season. And it's just the beginning. So next year, of course, Christmas comes again. But there's other holidays that are awesome for these products. And one of those holidays is Valentine's Day, which you might be thinking, well, Valentine's Day, that's a long ways away. Not really. It comes right after Christmas. Like, you basically walk out the back door of Christmas and you trip over Valentine's Day. It's just right there, February the 14th. And if you want to make sales for Valentine's Day, you got to have your stuff there, like December or January 1st. You got to have your shipments on the way there. So selling on Amazon is kind of like playing a game of chess, where you always have to be thinking many moves ahead. Oh, car coming. How's it going? People probably think I'm crazy walking around here talking into my phone, but I don't care. It's cold, though. It's pretty freaking cold. So we're finally getting into real winter here. So that's my plan, and I've actually got a spreadsheet laid out with all of the numbers. I've crunched all the numbers, and it looks like, if I perform as well as I normally do over Christmas, I'll probably hit that $100,000 sales mark, which for me, like, that's a big benchmark, and especially in a short period of time. But that's just the beginning. If you think I'm going to sit there and rest on $100,000 in sales, well, I'm not. Next year, it's time to go hard. So next year, my goal is $500,000 in sales total for the year. That's just sales. Obviously, the profit margin is going to be less than that, because you're getting about, I'd say, 30, 35, 40% profit, depending on what product it is. You get much better profits over holidays, of course, but yeah, that's my goal. And I think jewelry is going to be the way to do that. I can't see it happening with mugs. Like, mugs sell well, but I think, like, for me, taking a couple of jewelry products and really pushing them hard, that's the way that I'm going to be able to do it. And it seems that this is a product that is much, much easier to scale. So that's my plans for Christmas this year. Now, don't tell anybody that, because I wouldn't want anybody to steal these plans from me. But if you were trying to steal these plans from me, you could go to salesondemandshow.com/start, jump on my email list, and you could maybe be participating with me in my print-on-demand journey through my email list. Now, I don't send a lot of emails out, so you'll get some free videos on how to open up an Etsy shop, how to create some listings, and how to launch them on your shop. And then from there, the journey is basically on the podcast. I do have a training program too. Haven't updated it for a while. I probably should do that. It's just been really busy. Haven't really needed to do any updates on it. But yeah, I mean, that's about it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Of course, you can find it salesondemandshow.com, and I'm on YouTube, all the great channels. Not that YouTube is a great channel, but it's a good place for traffic. So we'll see you guys. I'm going to try to get, I'm going to try to do an episode in Las Vegas. That would be awesome. So keep your ears peeled for that. See you guys next time.